Okay, it is the 25th. Oh, it is the 25th of November. Can you believe it? Just days away from Thanksgiving, and a very late Thanksgiving, right? For here in the United States. Canada, of course, had theirs last month. Um, so happy holidays to everybody. Feels so nice to be back here and feeling really good. So we have a very special guest today, and I'm going to let Isa, really share, because it was Isa that has been working with Jeanne Verger, who is an entrepreneur, a mindset coach, a jewelry designer. She's lots of things. She helps people in business, helps with the mindset, as we know in just in this business, and mindset is everything in life. Mindset is everything, right? So I just want to turn it over to Isa, who will then turn it over to Jeanne. Jeanne will share, and then if there's time, we'll open it up for questions. So thank you so much, Jeanne, for being a part of our call this morning. I know you're in the Los Angeles area. I know you came to Long Beach for a little while, came to our convention to check things out, and so happy that you did. And I know that if you're working with Isa, things are happening. So Isa, take it away. And Isa's in Pennsylvania right now with her husband and his family for the holidays. So
yes, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Marisa. So Jeanne Verger, Jeanne and I met about 4 years ago, Jeanne.
God,
I know.
yeah, like even maybe like five.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
Yes. And I was, many of you know, I have a history in retail, and I met Jeanne because I was really attracted to her jewelry line online, and wanted to work with her and promoting her brand. And so we went and met for dinner in California, and discovered that we had several mutual friends from the yoga community in Los Angeles. And we've become great friends since. And, what I've loved to see is Jeanne's evolution. When I met her, her jewelry business was a primary focus, and yet she was still an executive, a creative director of advertising at Warner Brother Records, and she's worked with several famous musicians and has a really cool work history. And but seeing her evolve into business and mindset coaching. She still has her jewelry business and all of that, but she has helped me a lot with mindset, guys. And this was such a gift that I wanted to share, with my team. And then I said to Marisa, let's just share it with the whole team. So Jeanne helps address looking at our business from the inside out, mindset starting from the inside out. So all of you have seen her bio, so you can read the bio that Marisa sent out, but I'm not going to take any more time. I'll just let you take it away, Jeanne.
All right. Everybody can hear me okay? I'm unmuted. Okay, great. Yeah, so thank you so much for the introduction and for having me on the call. One of the things that lights me up in the world, right, is transformation. And how can I show up every single day in what feels true for me? Now, if you spoke with me a year ago, I would say, I want to show up in my best that I can be. Well, what I'm realizing is, like, some days I feel great. Some days I feel like crap. Some days I'm rocking my business, and some days I don't want to do anything. And so really, like, understanding the world of being human. And that's what this mindset that I've taken on in the past year is about coming to terms with my humanness. And sometimes I'm going to be absolutely amazing, and sometimes I'm not going to be that great. But there's no wrong or right to it. It's all neutral. And it's all neutral because everything that we perceive in the world, everything that we see from the outer side of the world, the results, comes from our thinking. And this was really huge. And it's like, I got this in the past. I've been doing inner growth work for so long. And I was like, oh yeah, my thinking, my thoughts create this, my thoughts create that. But a year ago, I was like doing great in my business, but I was always striving to be better. Um, I had all these new opportunities coming to me, but I always thought, oh, well, I'm not doing as much as this other person that I see on Instagram is doing. Um, I had so many friends and my body, you know, felt good, but I was like, oh, I need to be skinnier, or oh, I need to have a new circle. And so I caught on and I was like, I don't need to take another online course on how to do social media or how to, you know, lose 10 pounds. What I need to look at is, where are these feelings and these thoughts coming from? Because if I can understand that, I know how to do everything else. You know, it's like, if you want to be, you know, do social media more in a bigger way, you could go watch a how-to video on how to run Facebook ads, and you just follow step 1, step 2, step 3, and you got some Facebook ads up there. But as you're doing that, if your inner voice is telling you, you're not going to succeed at this, this isn't, you know, you don't know what you're doing, you're feeling overwhelmed now, you're going to look at that course you just bought or look at that YouTube video and be like, no, I can't do this. It's not for me. And so really understanding that our world, everything we create, comes from our thinking. And our business is made up from thought. That's it. Like, all business is just made up from thought, right? There's no tangible, like, you know, here is my business. I mean, I can have an office, right? I have my jewelry, or I have this, but business is what Jeanne creates business to be every single day. So when I started catching on to the like power of my thoughts and how they work, because we're human. As I said, I started off, one day I'll wake up and I'm like, my life is awesome. Another day I'll wake up, I'm like, the whole freaking world is crashing in right now. Nothing has changed in the outer world. The only thing that's changed are the thoughts. And you can even, I have to say, my relationship with my boyfriend is like the stomping ground to actually put this into action. Because there are moments where, I mean, there are many moments where it's him that's causing me how I feel, right? Like, he's the one, if he just didn't do this, I would then feel this. And that doesn't work either. Because there's nothing that anybody can do to us to make us feel any way. The only thing that can make us feel some way is how we're thinking about it. And so it's like, wow, I've been really integrating this, like, but like understanding it, you know, and having insights from it. And what's so great is about, you know, we can read articles, we could intellectually get things and be like, okay, great, A plus B equals C. So I'm going to just follow that formula and then I'm going to get my result. Well, it doesn't work like that. One, because our thoughts are always changing. So how you could do the same A plus B equals C 10 times and have a different thought doing it, and you're going to get a different result. One day it's going to work. The next day it's not going to work. The next day it works half. The other day it works a quarter, right? It's not the outside formula that's changing. It's our thoughts that are changing. It's how we woke up that day, what we're telling ourselves. And so, you know, when we can see this, when we could see, wow, like when I'm really caught up and I get angry at my boyfriend and I'm in it, I'm just like, you just said this to me and, you know, it makes me feel like this and you're not listening to me. And, you know, everybody can relate to that. As I'm in it, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm really caught up in my thinking right now. Like, really like wrapped around the axle around what he did. But what he did, if you really look at it from like an outside perspective, it's neutral. So let's say maybe he, we were sitting next to each other, and I don't know, maybe he said, no, I don't, I said that's something like, oh, I like this, and he said something like, no, I don't want to do that. And bam, I'm like, you always say you don't want to do that. All he did was say, I don't want to do that, right? Like, that's neutral. It's our thinking that then goes into the whole story of catastrophe mode. But when we can see this, when I'm really caught up in it, and I'm actually in it, and I still get into it, but now I could take a step back and be like, oh wow, I'm really like off to the races with my thoughts right now. Like, what's true? What's really true? I love him. He's on my side. I'm on his side. All right, let's just calm down. Like, let me go walk into the other room for a second, and then come back and be like, so if you don't want to do that, like, what are some options? Or, like, it's like just coming back to it from a neutral point of view. And we could take that into every aspect of our life, especially our business. So there are still times where I still compare myself. I still don't, think I'm not achieving enough. But when I am caught up in this, I go, oh, wow, hold on. Either one, I'm in a low mood. So picture all the times when you do have negative reactions to things. Generally, you're not feeling as strong emotionally, or sorry, I'll speak for me. I'm not feeling strong emotionally. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm caught up in some thinking of something, and then I react. The only thing that's going on, I'm in a low mood in that moment. So there's so many times where we come back to the same situation over and over and over again, the same conversations in life over and over and over again with different people, with different situations. The only thing, the variable that's changing is actually the mood that we're in when we're addressing whatever it is. So like some days my boyfriend will do something, and when I'm feeling strong and happy and like everything's okay in my world, walls aren't crashing in, I'm like, oh, look how cute, pat him on the head, go along, look how cute you are. When the world's crashing in, I'm like, I can't believe you're doing that. You do this every single time. That's the only thing that changed. And I'm just like getting that now. And it's like, oh, it's me. It's always me. It's always gonna be me. It's never going to be the outside. So it's like, God, when we can see this, there's nothing to do, right? If you're in your moment and you're caught up in a low mood, just recognize, oh, wow, I'm just in a low mood right now. Maybe I shouldn't continue this conversation. Or maybe if I'm in a low mood and I'm supposed to be posting social media and I'm supposed to be sharing everything or cold calling or following up with people, maybe I don't do it right in that moment. Let me go take a walk. Let me go cook a meal. Let me go do something that feels pleasurable. And then let me revisit that. Because there's such a different energy to how we do things is how we feel. And I've been doing that. There are mornings where I mean, my to-do list is so long every single day. I live off of lists. It just like keeps me so organized and I feel in control. And some mornings I wake up and I'm like, I look at the list, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so easy to get done. And I get it done in like 10 minutes. Other mornings I'll wake up and look at those same tasks and I'm like, oh my God, I just can't do that. And in the past, I used to be like, come on, Jeannie, you got to do it. Just do it, just crank it out, And then I would do it, but the result that I would get would be such a negative result because my mindset and my thinking was negative when I did it. it was hard, and I don't want to do this anymore, and da 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 da. And then I'm off to the races, creating so many stories. But now what I do is I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm not inspired right now. Let me go do something else that feels easy and inspired, so I can at least feel like I'm winning at my to-do list. And if nothing feels inspired, then I'm like, great, go watch Netflix or go take a walk, and give yourself 60 minutes to do that, and then come back and look at it. And it's like just those little things shifts us. But it all just stems back from me understanding that life is created through my thinking. And that's it. And seeing that. So it's like life is created, business is created in our thinking, our relationships are created in our thinking, our body is created in our thinking, our money and wealth is created in our thinking. I mean, I've read so many articles about millionaires, right? People have so much money, more money than I can even imagine that I'll ever have in my life. And they're still not happy, right? And they still make $1 million every single year, or whatever that number is. They're still not happy because money's made up. Money is in here. Money is not here. And then you read about people that, have 4 families and make, $40,000 a year, but they're so happy, right? Because their thinking is, wow, I got a home over my head. I got my family. That matters to me. I have good connection. Who needs more than that? Like, we have enough. That's all thinking. That's all our thoughts. So, we create the future of our business in our thoughts. So what I want to, really have you start thinking is like, what future have you created for your business? Because you're living into that future every single day. Now understand, this is the good news. Bad news is, okay, if you didn't create a great future, you're living into that future. But the good news is that everything changes. Our thoughts change all the time. So the future of your business actually has a future, but it's looking and understanding that our thoughts are creating our business. And the next time that you're there and you're feeling stuck, just be with the stuckness, because that's human, right? Be with the uncomfortableness, but then just realize, yeah, I got some really heavy thinking around this right now. That's why I'm feeling stuck. Has nothing to do with any of the outer circumstances. And in that moment, just go take a walk or do something that makes you feel free. And then come back to it, and you're going to have a new perspective. Even if it's like a slightly new perspective, you're going to get a different result. But you chose you in that moment, and you chose consciousness of going, wow, I really understand that my world is created through my thoughts. So I'm just going to step away for a second, regroup, and then come back at this, because this is important in my life. It's my business, or this is important in my life. This is my relationship, and I care about it, and I love it. This is important, my body. So I'm going to give myself this gift of understanding how my mind works. And when you do that, stories go away. Stories are just excuses you're making up because you're buying into your thoughts and they just feel real to you. Anytime we are like, so say like if I'm feeling sad, right? I wake up in the morning, and I don't know if it's hormonally or I don't know. But the first couple thoughts going through my head aren't positive thoughts. They're like, I want to get up, my body hurts, I'm tired, blah, 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 blah. But when I could just see that as thought, then I just sit there, I'm like, wow, I really am caught up in my thinking right now. Let me just be with that, and then understand that my thoughts are going to change. So then sometimes I'll just put a song on, and music just really lights my soul up. So I'll just put music on and I'm like, okay, just take one step, get out of bed, and then like just shake your booty a little, and then bam, I have a whole new set of thoughts, and they're more in a positive direction. So if we could really understand, thoughts are fluid. Thoughts are not solid. And this was another big aha for me, because if thoughts aren't solid and they're fluid, then my life is fluid and things are always going to shift. And things aren't going to be, oh, this is going to be me in 10 years. How many times have I said that? Oh, this is just my future. No, screw that. Like, it's not. Things change all the time. I mean, look at the proof in your life of how things change. So there's like 7 minutes left. So I want to just open up for like, what are you hearing? You know, like what insights are you having, or what's like an aha that's coming forward for you? And I guess anybody can just kind of.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself, you guys. Jeannie, I just wanted to ask you about how you incorporate meditation, because that's, to me, the first thing I would even do in the morning to get my day organized and my thoughts organized. And
yeah,
it's like when I miss meditation, something is always off. But when I come out of meditation, beautiful things happen, including something that happened this morning, and a message I had received from Isa, and I'm like, wow.
yeah.
So, you know.
Well, I love that. I love that you're asking this question, because meditation is amazing, like absolutely amazing. But the direction I want to point you in is that you've created an attachment to, when I meditate, my day goes well. When I don't meditate, my day does not go well. That's all story right there. Because what depends, right? And that's thinking right there, right? So if you wake up, you're like, oh my God, I missed meditation. Now I feel shitty. I didn't balance myself. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Now I don't feel well. I didn't balance myself. I didn't do my routine this morning, right? There's a lot of thinking going on there. Versus you get up and you don't do your meditation. You're like, oh, okay, I just missed it this morning. Okay, cool. So what's for breakfast and how am I going to rock it today? Do you see how it's not the meditation that gives you your sense of peace and balance? It's your thinking that you get in the meditation that gives you your sense of peace and balance. So continue doing your meditation, but start to catch yourself when you actually don't do it that morning because of some circumstance. Don't have your thoughts go, oh, I can't feel good the rest of the day because I didn't do my meditation. Your feeling good always lives inside of you. We are always in our well-being. And that's the beautiful part. There's no broken part of us. There is nothing incomplete about us. There's nothing wrong. Naturally, we are balanced. It's when we get caught up in our thinking that there's something wrong. That's what creates our feelings of uncomfortableness. What did you hear in that?
Yeah, I totally connect with that feeling. Just not being attached and just not having thoughts. I mean, that's part of the beauty of meditation, is to quiet the mind, to not have thoughts.
Yeah.
It's challenging always, but it's why we do it. And no, I thank you. I got a freedom pass.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, look, so if you're doing meditation to get a feeling, please know that feeling is always inside of you. You don't even have to meditate to get to it. It's there. Just take 3 breaths and think, wow, like everything's fine. Bam, you're off for your day, you know? And then when you choose to meditate, it's like, wow, what a gift I'm giving to myself right now. Some time alone, right? Maybe that's it, time alone. But your well-being, your centeredness, your balance, that's in you all the time, whether you're meditating or not.
I have a question, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Could you share with everyone one of the strategies that you've taught me about telling yourself that you will soon return to a
Yes.
state of well-being, and then stop going down the rabbit hole and put the period at the end of the sentence?
Yeah.
I love that. I find it really valuable.
Yeah. So, and I love it because the share that we were just talking about. So it's like, there's so many in this self-help world and positive thinking and all that. There's this underlying feeling of like, we're not well or we're not whole. Therefore, we have to do something to get our wellness back. And that's just not true. Our bodies are built whole and well and complete, and there's nothing wrong with us. And there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no better. There's just right now. And so if you notice, right, say there are moments where you get really mad and angry and you're like, "Rah!" And then an hour later, you're off to something else. You don't even remember how angry you got. You're just like feeling good and you're on somewhere. That's because our body naturally regulates. It naturally comes back to well-being. Like, it's kind of like how an acorn knows to turn into a tree, or how birds know how to fly south for the winter, or how like the ocean and the tides know how to work with the whole ecosystem that lives underneath it in the ocean. That's all built into that. They don't think, oh, it's time to fly south. Same thing with our well-being, that centeredness that always lives within you. It's just in us. If it wasn't, we would all have had heart attacks already, because we would just be in stress mode. So what I shared with Lisa was, even when things are so intense, just go, wow, things feel really intense right now. And I gotta, and just trust your well-being will come back. You will self-regulate. And when we can trust that, then we don't have to go and do A, B, C, D times 1,000 to fix ourselves to get back into wholeness again. Wholeness is always with us, like I was sharing about the meditation. That's a gift that you give to yourself. You don't need to do it to be centered and balanced. That's always in you. So when we can really understand that we're in a self-regulate ourselves and come back to wholeness, then you're free, right? You don't need to do all this crap. It's like, life is so much simpler than we think it is. And I've spent so long on the self-growth. I mean, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on degrees and this and that, in trying to make myself feel better or be better, when it's always in us. Just got to look at our thoughts. And that's running the show. Now, I want to be mindful of time because it's 8 a.m. So I think that's it for right? I can keep going on and on.
Oh, that's great. Does anybody else have a question? I don't mind.
We can go over. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome.
We're good. We can go over a few more minutes. That's fine.
Jeannie, I just wanted to, it was listening to you it's so great. It was such a great reminder for me that, we are not our thoughts. We're not like, we have these thoughts, and it's whether or not we're going to listen and believe them or not, really. And is it really who we are? So I just love what you're saying, and it's such a great reminder for me this morning, because we do, I do get kind of stuck in believing some of these negative things sometimes, and it's like, man, and it can just be so simple to just, change it and to move in another direction. And I love what you said about like going out and taking a walk or turning on some music or just, changing, and how quickly that can just set you in another direction. So thank you for that. It's been very inspiring and calming too.
Yeah, it's very calming because it's so simple
Mm-hmm.
and we don't need to do anything. Oh, God, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing to do. One, we have a self-regulating system in us that will always come back to self-regulation. Two, when you are in those thoughts, because you're going to have those thoughts, they're not going to go away, right? But just then recognizing, wow, I'm just wrapped around the axle, or, oh, wow, I'm really believing my thoughts right now. That's it. And I think that's what Issa was saying is like, just go, wow, I'm really believing my thoughts right now, period. Period. Hard stop. Because what I've been doing in the past is like believing my thoughts and going, well, you know, I don't feel good in my business, or I'm not doing social media right. Therefore, I'm not a good businesswoman. No, N-O, period. All it is I'm just not feeling inspired today, period. So if you could add that period, it's like what's true is everything before the therefore, before the but. You get that? Right? Everything before we're like, blah, 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 but blah, blah, blah. You know, like I feel sick right now. Therefore, I must have 10,000 things wrong with me and I got to go to the doctor and check it all out. Right? You know, like it's like, oh, I'm just feeling sick right now. Oh, I'm just in a low mood right now, period. Oh, I'm just like really wrapped around the axle and totally believing my thoughts right now, period. There's a lightness to that. There's a humor, right? Laugh at our humanness because everybody is human. Everybody does this. Even the people we see on social media and out in the world that we think has everything perfect, their whole world's crossing in and falling apart on them too. It's just how our brain and our mind is set up to work. Everybody experiences it. So when I really like check back in and take myself less seriously, it's like comical. It's like that's the big joke of life, believing our thoughts. So I love that. I love that you're feeling inspired. I love that you're feeling lighter and just having a fresh insight right now that you can take on with your day. Thank you.
Ooh. Anybody else? Would anyone else like to ask a question?
Jeannie, I love that word fluid as opposed to solid, because, you know, when we feel stuck, then it's that whole sense of, you know, but it's our thinking and how that can change moment to moment because it's fluid. And how everything is thought, and that we have to just understand that we already have everything that we need. It's just our thought that limits the situation or the experience. It's really very powerful.
Amen, sister. That is it. That is so it. And when we can really live that, it's like there's nothing wrong. There's never anything wrong. It's just how we view it. And life is fluid and things change, and you know, some days you're feeling great, some days you're not. Like it's like this dance, and just trust that. And the fluidness is like our regulation, our wealth too, but our health and well-being is always there. So just trust that and dance your beautiful fluid dance. And I love that word spoke out to you.
Mia, Jeannie did a great short video snippet about fluidity in our thoughts, and our business is, if we're following our simple system, our business is solid. It's our thoughts around it that change and ebb and flow. The business, if we're following our system, that's still there, right? But it's helped me a lot, and the period has helped me a lot. And there have been times when Jeannie and I have chatted, and she'll say, Issa, you're wrapping yourself around the axle. You're wound really tight, you know, because it's easy to start thinking. But anyway.
So I love what she was saying, because I have never put it into thoughts or thinking. This is Anna, sorry.
But we've been driving for hours and hours. We drove from Arizona up to Canada, and we started comparing our life and our business. Do we want to be a river flowing and going up and down, or going through hard times but constantly moving? Or do we want to be a lake where we're kind of there, we're moving around, it's pretty still, or a swamp where you're just stuck? We're kind of comparing, you know, all the scenery to fun things like that on the trip.
Yeah.
But I love that you are talking about thoughts, because that's really what it is. So our family's chosen to be a river. Just
Yeah.
thought that was kind of fun. But I like how you compared it to the thoughts instead.
I love
to our
that.
thinking.
And know that in a river, right, there's sticks, there's boulders, there's rocks, right? There's all this terrain. And like if you think of a stick going down a river, right? Sometimes it's flowing and it's just like, but then it might get pushed up on the bank and then it's like wedged in, right? But the water's still flowing, it's just a little stuck and it's kind of wiggling out and the current and bopping it right and left. But then all of a sudden it gets unstuck and then it's flowing down the river again. And that's the life of a stick on a river. It doesn't make any meaning of when it's flowing down the river or when it's stuck for a week or two on the banks until it gets unlodged. So be the stick in your river and just understand that life, we're going to be stuck. We're going to feel like a swamp sometimes, but then we're going to feel like a river sometimes, and then we're going to be that lake sometimes. And sometimes we're just going to be empty, maybe in meditation, right? We're going to be nothing. And all of that is the human experience, and it's all okay because we are built to handle life. So we don't have to ever don't ever feel there's anything wrong. And when we do, which I still do, right? Just go, wow, I'm just really caught up in my thinking, right? Everything's okay. And when even that heightened place, when we can go from a heightened place of story, thinking it's outside of us, and go, oh yeah, I don't have to worry. There's no problem here. Bam, you'll get a fresh thought. Bam, you'll get a new insight. Oh yeah, well, let me speak to my husband in this way, which is more gentle and loving. And then you do that, bam, you get the result you wanted, you know, like, but when we're caught up, that's when we're not trusting the flow of life. I love that. And safe travels on your drive.
The Merrills are an incredible family. Their three youngest children have cerebral palsy. Nothing gets in this family's way. They are extraordinary, and so they are the river. They are the ones pushing through, and they're very, it's incredible people. So
Wow.
Well, I like what she said, Marisa, because my thoughts and thinking get in my way. So it was a very well needed.
oh,
So thank you.
Anna, amazing. Yeah, thank you. Jeannie, thank you. Anybody else before we, I wanted to acknowledge a couple people on this call before we hang up.
This is Patricia. I just wanted to say,
one of those I wanted to acknowledge, New Pro 4. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I just see with this call was really kind of appropriate timing for me because it's like flowing down the river and now I feel like I'm the stick stuck at the bank. So, you know, very appropriate.
Aww.
So, but it'll flow again.
Exactly. And just when you're stuck, let that be okay, right?
Yeah.
Again, being stuck is all made up in our head too. You're not actually stuck. You're just doing what your wisdom's telling you right now. And if that's slowing down in life, then go with what your wisdom's telling you. And then when you need to ramp up again, you'll do it. I promise. Yeah. But it's our thinking that if we think we're stuck, then we actually stay in a suffering place, right? When you're like, oh wow, my body or life or blah blah is telling me to slow down for a second. Wow, how empowering is that? Then you can actually enjoy every single moment of your life. And then when it ramps up, it's like, all right, time to ramp up again. Let's go down the river, you know? So
yeah, cool. It's very awesome. I'm glad I jumped on.
Yay. Thanks for joining.
Lisa, that's great. And if people want to follow you, Jeanne, they can follow you on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, generally in the social media world, it's my jewelry business that I've built. So, yeah.
We have a website they can check out.
Yeah, I have a website. I guess, you know, it's funny with my coaching clients, it's kind of just what I do, more one-on-one coaching. And then I have, you know, videos that I make that I just kind of put out on my my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page. So, you know, and then when I work with people, I also do, you know, website design. I did Issa's website, I do branding, and, you know, and I do some strategy coaching still, but definitely working on the mindset first, because what I found in all my years of doing strategy, like before, it's like, okay, great, let's work together for 6 months. We're going to put the perfect business plan together. I'm going to teach you how to do this and the how to this and how to that. And what I realized was I've given, you know, a lot of my clients the perfect plan to execute, and then it never gets executed because it's not learning the how to, but I never addressed what were their thoughts around it. And so, yeah, so now I work with my clients where we go, okay, great, let's together create the most awesome business plan, but you're leading the way, right? Because it's your thoughts that are going to tell the future of this awesome plan we're going to create together. So let's understand what those thoughts are. And then when we can really understand and point you in a direction that life isn't hard or your business isn't hard, and we can unravel the future you created, then let's create a plan together, and I can teach you how-tos and stuff like that. And now, you know, the results are just like skyrocketing, and just making those kind of tweaks. So yeah, so find me on the internet.
Okay.
And you can always email me if you have any other questions, or if you know, want to hear about my services and stuff like that.
Okay, and what's your email, Jeanne?
It's Jeanne at JeanneVerger.com. So JEANNE at JEANNE V as in Victor ERGER.com.
Okay.
And if you just Google Jeanne Verger, you'll find many different ways to get to me.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you so much. Like, everybody has just lit my whole day up. So it's like I feel so energized and so grateful, and just being in the conversation, I mean, and being with a group of women and just feeling the cocoon of it has.
Well, we have some men on here, by the way.
Oh, and there's some men. Okay. Hey, gentlemen. Woo woo.
We have Don, we have Matt, we have Mark.
Oh, okay. I only see
Lauren.
your view right now. Oh, I see. Okay. Hi, Don. Hi, Mark. Okay. Oh, okay, good. Now I see all the men.
Yeah.
All right.
We need some testosterone in this business.
Right. To balance it all out. Awesome.
Thank you, Jeanne. Thank you so much for everything. I think this was very valuable. And I want to introduce a friend of mine, a dear friend, a new friend, Kimberly Delatorre. She's in Virginia. And Kimberly also just joined LifeVantage a few days ago, and we met in India. And she is a sharp businesswoman, a mom of twin 8-year-olds and an 11-year-old son, and she has a husband, and she's a full life and dogs, and and we just want to welcome you, Kimberly. I know there's a lot of energy that happens in LifeVantage, and you know, it's like the buffet. Take what you want.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Welcome. We're happy to have you here. So many good things happening. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, everybody, thank you. I'll stop the recording right now, unless there's anything else that I'm missing. If somebody has something they want to share.